Hi, Jordan here. So Nvidia updated their shadow play to allow you to record video of your entire desktop, and I thought it'd be really cool to do that while I'm working on a video and then make sort of a time-lapse slash tutorial thing, which is what you'll see going on here. A little while ago, I was watching one of my cousins play basketball, and I recorded part of the event on my phone, and then I thought it'd be cool to kind of make that look like a televised basketball game. And so here's that process. I wanted to at first make a 3D basketball logo to introduce the thing. And as you can see, I had some issues with texture, figuring out where I needed lines to make them line up. And then I found someone who had a here's a texture to wrap around a ball thing, and I just put different orange behind it. And that looked pretty decent. So what I'm doing is I'm using Element 3D, which is a video copilot 3D tool you can use in Adobe After Effects. It's good for people like me who don't really know what they're doing with 3D, because it's pretty basic. But it looks like it's actually pretty flexible too. You could do a lot of things if you knew what you were doing. So I've got my basketball, and then I was wanting to make some curved text that says Saskatoon basketball over the basketball itself. So I went into Photoshop and warped some text and then imported that and then traced it to make a mask, which you can then import into Element 3D to make 3D extruded text. And then I put a light over it because it's nice to have some differential lighting, so you've got some dark spots. And then I wanted the camera, I made a camera to move through it so it would look like it was zooming in, but it's the camera moving out. And I took a long time to get the camera to go between the text and the basketball. And then once I got that right, which I really sped that part up for you because it was boring, then I wanted the basketball to spin away and the text to spin the other way after a few seconds. Then I'm adjusting the curves so it's not just a straight speed, so it kind of speeds up and slows down. Or I think I just wanted it to slow down. Maybe speed up, yeah. And more fiddling with the exact angles of all that. And then render that clip out with an alpha channel. Sure renders fast in fast motion. And there's the actual clip at real time. Boom, looks nice. So that's good to go in the video. And then I copied those effects into a new clip because I also wanted a ball going past the screen to make sort of a wipe for the couple of cuts that I have. And then that's what that looks like. Just the basketball kind of tossing itself through. And then we open up the actual video here, and I'm just kind of plopping those over top. Anytime there's a transition, I put a to B push wipe, so the new video pushes the old video over, and just toss that basketball wipe over it. Plop, 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 plop. Got quite a few of those. I put the Saskatoon basketball animation right at the beginning. Make sort of an intro logo, like a television network coming back from a commercial break sort of thing. Okay, and then what I did is I took a screenshot from a television, it's very, very blurry, of what a TV overlay score looks like. And then in After Effects just tried to sort of recreate that, just using that as a reference. So I also put out a screenshot from the basketball game too, just to get a feel for it. I'm just using the shape tools, the rounded rectangles for those with gradient on the team ones. I just put Team A and Team B at first because I couldn't remember what my cousin's basketball team was called. And at a certain point, I think you can see me text my aunt. Here I opened up an old project I did for Flixist to get the time code stuff out of it to make the timer, because I want to have the actual time countdown like you would actually have on a televised system. And there I'm texting my aunt, asking her what the team name is. Okay, so it took me a little while to get that part right, but eventually I did, and I've got some horrible math there with the calculator. And then it was a bit of a tricky process to line that up, because I made a timer that counts down from, whatever time, 3 minutes to 0, but there's frequent points in the game where, they blow the whistle and the game is paused. So what I had to do then was cut the video, pause the effect, stretch it to where they start again, and then continue the old video. So that's what I'm doing here. That took me a while to make sure I got all the points and to make sure it lined up right, because there's quite a few moments where you can see that the camera pans up and you can see the actual score and time board on the wall, and I wanted to make sure that, it actually showed the right time, because otherwise it's pretty useless. Excellent. Okay, so for the actual team scores, I was trying to make a slider effect control thing in After Effects, but then with all the pausing and cutting, that just got too complicated. So I took the cheap and quick way out and just made simple titles for each possible score that was ever going to be, and just swapped those titles out in Premiere. You saw a weird Splinter Cell video flash up there for a second. I just saw, from our band's EP, we recorded a song, and there's a really cool da-da-da-da part, and I just wanted to put that at the beginning, so I borrowed it from another video I already used it for. Okay, so what I did not on camera here, because there's no camera to see, is I recorded myself watching through each of the clips and kind of making an announcer play-by-play, and then here I am combining all the good clips into one long track, just with enough spaces that I can cut them up in Premiere later and space them out properly. But I want them all in one track so that I can apply effects to them to get them all to sound the same. So here I am just kind of cutting every little thing that I said into one long thing and saving it. And I think I just about got them all there. There. Now I'm applying a multiband compressor to kind of level it out so the lows are a little higher and the highs are a little lower, so my voice is a little more even. And then I pitch shifted it down slightly to give me a slightly deeper voice. Hopefully I sound a little bit better like an announcer there. And now I've pasted it into Premiere, and I'm just chopping up each little bit and then dragging them around so they line up properly. Because there's that cut tool in Premiere, so you can just cut anything and then drag the clips around as you want. So I just have to kind of keep watching the game and seeing where the things I'm talking about are happening, and just dragging those clips around. And then changing the volume of the different elements too at the same time to make sure that my voice can be heard over the background, and that if there's anything interesting in the background, you can actually still hear that as well. And I put in a few sound effects too. I think I missed talking about that because that happened earlier. Just a couple quick things to help clean it up, like a nice buzzer at the end. And I think a kind of a swoosh whenever that basketball goes by. Yeah, you can see those swooshes up at the top there every once in a while. Then I gave it a good watch through. You definitely have to do that to make sure you didn't miss anything. In this case, my score was off, so I had to go back and fix that at some point, as I wasn't really paying attention, I suppose. And that's very silly. And then once it all looks good, render that bad boy out to whatever settings you like. I usually go with H246, is that what it's called? At kind of a high setting. Fast forward through that render. Wish it rendered that fast. Then give it your final playthrough there and make sure it all looks good. And boom, that's great. Thanks for watching.